You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
What's going on, people? It's your boy Charlie in the Box, the patriotic miscreant, reporting to you from behind enemy lines, FEMA Region 9 in the communist state of California and occupied United States of America. And what I'm gonna have in my box today is gonna be, I see something funny. Let's get this video started. So today, if we look at the media in America today, and I would say throughout the world, there's a lot of disinformation and propaganda being played upon its citizenry. Well, let's look at propaganda for a moment. They would all say it started from Edward Bernays, the father of propaganda. He had a job over at the U.S. Committee on Public Information. And at that one point in time in early America, they called us isolationists because we weren't fighting everybody else's war for whatever reason it is. We were focused here at home with our tranquility. So the United States federal government and the private Federal Reserve wanted to get into the World War I. So they successfully convinced the American people to enter this war with some propaganda. So when our men all went to war, our women went into the factories. But women weren't getting the same equal pay and rights as men. Don't that sound familiar? Well, the communists of the days, they started the women's suffrage movement. And they were trying to fight for women's equal rights of those days. So as World War I finished, those men came back to the factories and the women went back to home, but the suffrage wasn't over. After the war, Mr. Bernays was approached by the American Tobacco Company, and they wanted Mr. Bernays to encourage women to start smoking because the women at the time that smoked were prostitutes or women that just weren't have class and dignity upon themselves. In order to get this done, as getting the average woman to start smoking, it needed some help with Mr. Bernays. So he successfully got a campaign together called the Torches of Freedom to convince women of the day to start smoking, and this is how he did it. He went to the women's suffrage movement, and he convinced them, and he paid women to go out there and start smoking cigarettes at an Easter Day parade in New York City. Before this parade, he approached the media of the days and he told them what he wanted to be said in an article. And he even gave them the name of Torches of Freedom, how to write the article, how to cover it. And after that campaign, they successfully got more and more women to start smoking cigarettes. But that's the propaganda of those days. And if we look at the propaganda being played upon the American citizenry today, it's downright funny if you know what you're looking at. And smoking in America, well, let's look at the truth movement. They want to inspire young Americans to live a tobacco-free lives. And with this propaganda today, now they're pointing at school-age children. You guys seen all the commercials?
Pack of cigarettes? You need a little more, honey.
Well, I guess it's working because smoking among school-age children is at an all-time low. Statistics show it. This propaganda is working. But big tobacco isn't going to get away from you guys so easily. They got more interesting and new flavors for us to smoke. See, I noticed something funny in the media because I've been paying attention for quite a while now, 8 years. And I could go back to when President Obama was running for office. Remember when he was campaigning, it was all about hope and change out of the media.
The historic moment 8 years ago, the election of the first black president of the United States, and hope that it would usher in the beginning of a new era of racial acceptance and equality in America.
But as soon as this guy got into office, what happened? The script flipped.
But it was not to be. Instead, the true depth of the racial divide in the U.S. was exposed. Tensions over numerous killings of African Americans by police provoked protests in many cities that led to the Black Lives Matter movement.
Out of the media and a standing president, they invoked racial division. You guys remember? They were stoking the fire in the African American community of built-up rage and emotions towards white people and cops We all remember the narrative.
When Trayvon Martin, an unarmed black teenager, was shot and killed in 2011 by a white security guard who was later acquitted, Obama was thrust into a national debate on racial profiling.
When Trayvon Martin was first shot,
As they kept stoking the fire in that community, this is the response they got.
Bitch ass.
Yeah, bitch ass nigga, boy. Fuck Donald Trump, nigga. Fuck white people, boy.
Fuck
white
them,
people,
bitch.
boy.
Now we fast forward 8 years in the future. Now we got President-elect Donald Trump. And one of his campaign promises was what? Building a southern wall. And he wanted to stop the flow of illegal immigrants in America. Not legal, but illegal. Because some of these people that were coming into our country illegally wish to come do us harm. They don't want to conform to American society. Well, what did the media preach to the people at that one point in time? What, 2 years ago, if you guys remember? It's all about hatred.
President Trump has ordered the rescinding of DACA.
Federal judge from California rescinding the Trump move on DACA.
Adds a level of uncertainty.
Do you feel like you're having to plan for two lives?
Yeah, I would definitely say that. Once
He hated Mexicans because he wanted to build that freaking wall because we bordered Mexico. Well, as they stoked the fire in the Hispanic community, and the migrant community, and the Mexican American community, this is the response they got out of it. See, it's kind of funny if you know what's happened. The same freaking tactics happen over and over again, but they don't get the same response from the left to the right. Everything I told you, the response they got out of was on the left. On the right, the same tactics didn't work. It was with the Tea Party. They kept trying to say they were hateful people. They wanted to destroy America, but they never had that built-up rage and emotions. Got the same reaction out of the people that were constitutional libertarians, Christians, and people who wanted checks and balances within the system again. It's kind of funny if you look at the tactics that are being played among the American people. To tell you the truth, I don't think it's funny at all, them agitating the African American community in America like that. Playing on their emotions and building them up to get mad and go take it out on white people. That shit ain't funny. It wasn't right for the people to do it back in the days, and it's not right for them to do it today. It ain't funny for them to go and play on the emotions and fear of illegal immigrants and dreamers. Go and say that they need to do immigration reform now. They had 8 years under Obama administration and they didn't do it for them, but they keep telling them every time if you vote for them. It ain't funny to play with people like that. It ain't funny to social engineering, and if you know what you're looking at, you could see it. Haven't you ever noticed when you watch a big motion picture in America today, the hero's always a woman nowadays? Every time you watch a sitcom or a cartoon, the dad's a bumbling idiot. This is all being done on purpose, a disintegration of the traditional family. That's why they say you could have 2 dads and 2 moms nowadays. That's why today they say that a man could be a woman could be a man with transgenderism. No, you can't. There's an X and a Y chromosome, and that's it. It's not funny that they're trying to brainwash people at this point in time in history. It ain't funny that Americans are willing to adopt socialism, communism, taking for granted their goddamn Bill of Rights and the United States Constitution. They won't have none of it at the end. It's not funny that they got these kids going out there walking out of school to use them as pawns as this globalist agenda of gun confiscations in America. It's not funny today in America when you got people that are patriots defending the country, not party, but country, and they're demonized like Donald Trump. This man's a man for the country and the people don't even freaking know it. And it's not funny. The reason why they don't know it is because of the damn media doesn't do the damn jobs. So to be a well-informed individual, you got to get well-informed. Go to DRUDGEReport.com daily and look at the stuff that they're not covering and telling you guys about. They're trying to stop the flow of information to shut down Alex Jones and InfoWars. You might want to listen to the individual. Don't believe people for what they're saying, but to question everything. Start critically thinking. Wake up from the mind fog that they got you as an average American person in a false sense of reality. Reality is knowing the truth and making a difference when you find it out. Don't have apathy and ignorance control your lives. It ain't funny and you shouldn't be proud of it. So if you're not gonna do everything in power to restore your life, liberty, and this country, you're gonna do everything in power to destroy Operation Charlie Box, the patriotic miscreant, and I'm out.
Hello there. Watch Charlie in the Box before he's sent to a re-educational camp.
Find out.